Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I will be starting my reaction to the Ghost in the Shell, and this is, I think, a remake. I'm not exactly sure what this is because I've been hearing people say that apparently this is going to follow like the manga or like the source material, whatever it is, like exactly. And I do know the Ghost in the Shell had like a few movies and I think a few series as well. I didn't really watch any of it. I haven't watched the movies either. I had plans on reacting to them, but I never really got the time or like the opportunity to do that. So now that I saw that we're getting like a new Ghost in the Shell, I was like, all right, I've always been interested in this, like series. The fact that it's going to follow like the main source material and all that, it's a good opportunity to react to this. So here I am. It's being animated by Science Saru, which is really good. I've seen a few of the trailers. It looks quite interesting. The whole art style is very I wouldn't call it old art style, but it's like a mixture of modern and like old like art style, anime art style, kind of. It looks very like interesting. And yeah, things are looking pretty good. I'm kind of kind of hyped about this, looking forward to whatever I'm going to see. So yeah, I'm going in blind to this whole series. Like I said, I do know about this series, but I have never really watched any of the series or anything. So yeah, let's see what this is about. So yeah, let us get started. This is episode number 1 reaction. I will put the timer over here, sync the timer, do the original video, and watch it alongside my reaction. And yeah, let us get started. So episode 1 reaction. Here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Hmm. Oh. 1999 global news. Okay, you need to chill. I need to go back and read this part. Electrons and light race back and forth. Okay. 2029. Okay. Oh, damn. Government, whatever countries, official policy, not. Independence is right. Damn. Right. Public security. Oh, there she is. Motoko. Kusanagi Motoko, right? Buildings. All right. Oh, they were having a jolly good time a few moments ago. What? Yo, that is crazy. Yeah. But oh my god. Oh, the lights are back. Aramaki. The Red Prime Minister. Damn. Asylum. Wow. Yeah. Oh. Oh my god. Whoa! Low velocity soft point explosive bullets. Damn. Good lord. Uh, oh, this iconic scene. She disappears into the. Yeah. Yeah. You're a bit too late, dude. Next day, the woman appeared at the Ministry of Internal Affairs office. Kill. Yeah. Former Prime Minister. Name. Formal creation. New Special Forces Unit. Citing. Internal Affairs. Size candidates with IT development. To bring into public security. Anamaka agrees. Yeah. With the formation of us. Okay. Right. No, this is the opening. Oh. Right. Okay. Wait. I feel like I've heard this voice before. Who's singing this? Where have I heard this? I definitely have heard this singing voice somewhere. Alright, a little bit of interference. I tried to sync the video properly. My PC suddenly kind of. Okay, I recognize the voice. This is. Oh, there you go. I was gonna say, this is like a Jujutsu Kaisen. It sounded like the Jujutsu Kaisen opening. So, yeah, it's King Nu. Makes sense. Ghost in the Shell Committee. Okay. 2029. Super Spartan. Okay. What? What the hell? Yeah. Set up an official space. Right. Right. Oh, this looks so good. The cyber hackers away. Hardcore kills the hacker. One of them. What? Wait, what? Uh. Whoa! Damn, this is a brain dance going on? Cyberpunk? Alright. Okay, in South Nihama Cultural Center. What the? Hello? Wait. Sacred Citizen. Huh. Right. This is what's going on here? Alright. Interesting way of educating. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, oh wait, I just realized they have freaking. Bruh. Yeah. Wow. It's gonna be something crazy. Oh, here we go. This is the. Oh, okay. She dived in. Whoa. Ah. Oh my god. Oh damn. Because. Hmm. Okay. Uh, damn. Oh, 25 seconds. Oh, oh. Well, we got him. But hello? Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's the baby spider on him. Modified sago human. Oh. Hmm. Oh, damn. Hmm. Oh, they realized. Oh, damn. Oh. Oh. Oh, damn. Oh my god. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So she, like, I didn't realize that. So she was a, like a, mm, damn. Oh, there's a message to not. Damn. Wow. Oh, hey. All right. Yeah, they got him. That's why. Ugh. Yeah. Oh no, they're trying to get her. But she said that her barrier is more. Oh, she got out. All right. Damn. Ah, yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. It just jumps out of the. Okay. Wait, is that a mine? Did she plant a mine? Okay, it was a dummy. Okay. Whoa. Oh, oh, both the well, yeah, and after all of this, well, at least you survived. At least they didn't outright like shoot you. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Yeah, we almost died. We got a brain fried almost. Oh, yeah. Bah! Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. Right. And there you go. That was the first episode of The Ghost in the Shell. Now, first and foremost, it looks amazing. Like, I have to say, like I said before beginning, that I saw like a few of the trailers and the art style and everything looks very like modern, but at the same time, it has the whole like, like the old anime art style type of thing with it. And, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Like the colors and everything. Like, I've said this before multiple times. I really like when like animes, like they have like very vibrant colors. Like, there's like a lot of people who really like sometimes like like a dark setting, like those type of like. There's also animes like that. Personally, I prefer like colors that are popping out. High contrast colors, looks amazing and everything. That's what I really like, and this like captured it perfectly. And obviously, this is Science Saru we're talking about. Like, this studio has a very interesting way of, I don't know, like it doesn't have like a, like I've seen this like a lot of the Science Saru works. Each anime, it seems like they have like a different type of an artistic beat animation, like a different personality. Like, when you like most of the studios that I've seen, like most of the really good studios like Ufotable, Mappa, like Wit Studio, what else, Cloverworks, like A1 Pictures, all of these studios, if you see them, you'll notice that it has like a certain type of animation style and like a certain type of like visual art style and everything, which you can kind of recognize even if you don't know which studio, like it is. If you look at the animation, you can be like, oh, this is probably from Ufotable, or this is probably from Mappa. Science Star, I've noticed, like I've seen a few of the animes, obviously each has like a different type of a personality. Like this has a different type of personality. I'm talking about the art style and the animation. You know, um, then we have like other shows which have like different types of like personality and art style. We're literally having another show this season, which is Jadugar. Uh, that that show's art style and animation is completely different from this. Like, you won't be able to like that is something that is very interesting and I really like about this studio. Like each has like its own personality, and like it's something very cool and unique, like for a studio, and it looks like, like it looks absolutely amazing, this show. Now, like I've said before, I have gone into this blind, so I have no idea like what like Ghost. Like the only thing about Ghost in the Shell that I knew about is that the name of the main character, Motoko Kusanagi. That's her name, right? Yeah, that's the only thing I know about it, because I've heard about her everywhere. Like, from when I started watching anime, like every single place I've heard of the Ghost in the Shell, and I've seen like clips of it and everything. I've seen the main character, so that's all I know. I had never really watched any movies. I have no idea about anything in this show. So, like I have, obviously, like this is going in completely blind. I have to say, the first episode, one thing I will say though, it looks like this is one of those shows where they're not going to explain anything. They're just going to throw out terms and everything, and you'll have to figure it out little by little. Which I think it'll take a while for me to properly grasp a lot of the terminologies and technicalities and everything. But I'm sure I'll understand it eventually. Like, because a lot of these things are kind of similar to a lot of other cyberpunk shows. Now, this is another thing I want to talk about, which is cyberpunk style shows. I'm not really that much well versed, or like I don't really, and I've never really watched any other cyberpunk type shows or other stuff, except only one thing, which is like game everyone knows it, Cyberpunk 2077. Like, that's the only, I would probably say that was my introduction to this whole cyberpunk genre. Like that game. And that's the only thing. That's why, like, a lot of these things that they're kind of throwing, for example, like the whole, like the ghost thing that they were talking about, I can kind of understand a little bit, but at the same time, there's still like a sense of like in clarity in my head. Like, in clarity or unclarity, what's this called, whatever it is called, you know what I'm trying to say. Like a sense of that where I'm not completely clear about exactly what is happening, but at the same time I do kind of understand what they're talking about in a weird way. That's why I'm saying like it'll probably take me like 2 or 3 episodes, and like little by little we'll probably understand. And like I said, I don't think they're going to explain it to us. Like like there's a lot of shows where they kind of be like, oh, this is actually this and this is actually this, and then they kind of show that. They're just going to throw these things into like like in front of us, and as we keep watching we'll understand it eventually, like properly, like like the technicalities of what it is and everything. Like I understand what's going on, but at the same time there's some sort of like like clarity problem I'm having about a few things. But yeah, that's just like like that's just a matter of time. I'll figure it out eventually, while watching like the upcoming episodes. But I feel like a lot of people who probably watched or has watched like these type of shows before, like cyberpunk like style shows, they'll probably have a better understanding about these type of things. And you know but like I said, my introduction to cyberpunk was Cyberpunk 2077. So like anything that I'm going to see here, I'll probably try to understand, or will probably understand it through that. Like that's why, like while reacting, when they were talking about that ghost and that, when they were looking through the brain, like thing, it kind of reminded me of like a brain dance in Cyberpunk, where they kind of go into like the character's brain and they kind of like go through the like whole thing. And these type of things, that's why I'm saying like it, it'll take a while for me to understand a lot of these terms and everything. But it's not like so like I'm not like so like clueless that I'm not understanding what's going on. I am understanding what's going on, but like to make it crystal clear, it'll take a few episodes in my, like at least that's what I think. Either way, yeah, so that is what is going on now. The show, the episode number 1, it like it was really good. I really liked it. Like what I could understand is obviously like they took in like Motoko Kusanagi from like into the public security, right? Yeah. And as that guy said, what was his name? I forgot his name. Like we have to like someone this like like talented and everything. We have to keep an eye on her, otherwise she might like do something that is yeah. So that's why like they took her into this unit. um and now like like they're kind of working on behalf of like a government, like an agents, the public security like thing. And this was like one of the missions where they had to get like the ghost controller and the key. But they found out that apparently what like what's going on over here is that like running like an orphanage, but at the same time they're this is like a whole ploy, and they're kind of brainwashing children. And that's what's going on. So like like they kind of dismantle the whole operation. uh right. Now, again, one thing, like obviously like you can see how this show is like like what can I say, like it's like a few of the scenes were so crazy, but I was surprised at the fact that the characters in the show acted as if it was just an everyday it's just an everyday thing for them, which makes sense. Obviously they're like like we're just seeing this show like from suddenly from this at like from this what's going on over here. But these guys, they probably have done these type of things for like probably a long amount of time. So crazy things happening might come as a shock to us, but for them it's an everyday thing for them. For example, when that girl, what was her name? I don't know. The girl who was there with them, who's apparently like who is an apparently like an AI, as we got to know. Like she didn't have a ghost. So as they said that, oh, they'll probably fix her and like probably completely change her internal like like thing. That part, when they when they like killed her, or like not killed technically, like I said, she didn't really die in that sense, but like yeah, her brain got fried as we saw. um the way they just brushed it aside nonchalantly as if like that's like an everyday thing for them. That part really kind of, I was like, damn. And then they were like, 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 leave her be, like, they'll fix her. And then one of them said something along the lines of, oh, it is unfortunate that they'll probably like just rewrite her whole like programming and everything. So the person that will be here from next point onwards won't be the same person that we have been talking to. Where's that part? Let me just read that section. Here we go. um yeah, so yeah, her whole head just comes on. It's crazy. And Motoko's like, let's go, Bato. She was nothing but a speaker. Yeah, public security will fix her up and give her a whole new program while they're at it. Yeah, there's something sad about these ghostless puppets. So like I said, little by little I'm understanding from these conversations what actually a ghost. So I'm assuming ghost is supposed to be some sort of a like a some like a, what, in a very simple way or a very understandable way, I'm going to say like it's probably like their soul or something like that, like something that gives them their sense of being, their personality or whatever, like an inner self. So anyone that doesn't have a ghost is just like a like an not android but like a robot kind of thing with just AI within them, which is just like kind of programmed to make them walk, talk, and do things. But they're not like people in that sense, I guess. Characters like everyone else who has a ghost, I'm assuming, are characters who obviously these people are also probably has a lot of cybernetics. A lot of them are probably cyborgs and everything, you know. So, but the little difference between them and this character was that these guys have like this ghost, which is supposed to be like a personification of like like their inner self, like themselves, their soul. Like I said, like in a way, if you want to think about it that way, um, which is why they're more, I guess you could say, human. That kind of thing. So yeah, uh, either way, uh, so yeah, and they just kind of like they were like, all right, like let's keep moving. Like these type of things, it's very interesting to see. Like a lot of these things that we were seeing, it's just like something that they have been going through so long that it's just every day for them. But there'll be a lot of scenes probably that'll shock us, but there'll be like, it's just everyday job. Right. Um. Okay. Now, overall, as we saw, like like these guys. Also, another very interesting thing, I really liked it. Not, I wouldn't say liked it, but it was quite an interesting development when they were saying like when that kid was running away and they were like, all right, let's just put in a baby spider on him, and they did that. Like usually, I feel like the direction was going is like nobody in the enemy side would realize that he's bugged, and they'll probably like launch an operation to do something, but they figured it out immediately. They were like, oh, they planted a bug on him. And like, so their whole thing was just a waste over there, like in a way you could say. So like what I'm trying to say here is that like these type of things like will make this probably very interesting, where like, because a lot of animes you'll kind of notice like a pattern where when a certain character in the like in the hero side, like in the protagonist side, does something like this, it kind of goes unnoticed, which is why they can kind of like like execute the second part of the step, the plan. Here, however, it will be very realistic in the sense where just like how everyone from the protagonist sides are well trained, they're witty, they're intelligent, they know what they're doing, and they're ruthless. Similarly, the enemy side will also have characters like that who might just figure out what you did. Like they're not dumb people. Like these guys who we were fighting against, they're also well trained. They also went through a lot of things. So like that's why they immediately figured it out, and they were like, oh, he's bugged. Like like, so these that type of thing. So it's going to make the stakes higher, I guess you could say, in a way, where the battles will seem more realistic in that sense, where both the sides are equally kind of like in the same like level. Unlike a lot of shows where like the protagonist sides always get away with things which like shouldn't be the case. like I'm sure like if this was some other show like that, this bug that they planted would have gotten unnoticed and they probably would have went away with the kid, and like something like that would have happened. But if you think about it, like these people are also trained. No, they're not dumbasses. Figuring out that the kid was bugged is like that is supposed to be like something that is natural. They would have figured it out eventually. So like that kind of thing. Anyways, so that was another thing. Like I said, like high stakes kind of thing. I like it. um right. Now then, like the next part of the battle was pretty interesting, where they kind of just went off, like like hacking each other, like like kind of frying each other's brains. First, like that girl got became like their brain got fried, and then we had the other dude who he kind of figured out and took control over him. Later on, that dude explains how he was able to, no, sorry, yeah, so yeah, he takes control over him and uses that little spider thing. I don't know what that they kind of called it. What did they call it? I forgot what they called it. Whatever that was, that little like like automatic turret kind of thing, like to attack us. But then we had oh, here we go. That's what it is called. Wait a minute. Fuchikoma. Yeah, and using like like that, he was trying to kind of infiltrate in others like brains, and kind of, here we go. The security has a ghost controller, so using that ghost controller, they were doing that. Motoko almost fell to that as well, but she was able to kind of get out of that. Yeah, she ejected herself. Right. He was able to get in before my attack barrier could react. Yeah, so it's basically like they're hacking each other's brains, but then as they explained, like like as Motoko explained, like she has like an attack barrier which helps kind of like like kind of prevent that, and you can like kind of like go back and forth like that. uh yeah, backtraces signal path, nails as with an attack barrier. Yeah, and then they kind of got him back like that. Like when you're hacking someone, you also have the like equal like opportunity of getting hacked back like that. So kind of like that. um and he just dipped immediately. um Having a substitute barrier running saved my ass. Okay, so then you can see Motoko kind of puts like a dummy in, and kind of lures him in with that, puts him in a favorable position, and then like, yeah, she shoots him. Like, and that bullet, obviously, like she probably like calculated the trajectory, the wind speed and all that, how much it'll dip, like how much, like, and she shot it through like those walls, like how much resistance the walls will provide, so how much the velocity will go down, or like how much the trajectory will change. Calculated all of that, and shot two shots, right? Yeah, and got both his legs. Yeah, both legs just bam, and he just fell down. And he's like, "Yep, I'm screwed now. No sight, no heat, no sound. A Cure invisibility cape." Yeah, which she was kind of wearing, as we saw. And then he's like, "Oh, stop, stop! I surrender." Like I don't want to die. I don't want something happening to me. Like, yeah. And she's like, "All right, ghost infiltration key and ghost controller, and then you're gonna be arrested." Okay. Yeah, and there you go. And then that was that. Uh, yeah. That was very interesting. Like I said, I really liked it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the upcoming episodes. Okay, a few other things I need to check here. Okay, so another thing, I'm checking that part where the first part where they like this guy what was he called? The guy who she calls Ape Face or something like that. Like the first scene where he like captured these guys from the. And the dude was like, oh, like you guys won't be able to do anything, I'm taking this guy with me to the asylum, he's gonna come with me. I'm taking him custody, and like, yeah, there you go. But then Motoko comes in and just takes him out immediately. Yeah, Motoko's just there. How many shots did she fire? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, low velocity soft point explosive bullet. That's crazy. So these bullets go inside you and and they explode, and that's why his whole body just kind of just splattered. Like, I'm wondering, is this like, are they censoring the blood, or is this how the show is like? Because I saw this later as well. They're sensing the blood, right? With that, like, in a very interesting way. It's not just normal sensor. They're doing like pixelated way where it kind of looks like a cyber. That's why I'm trying to figure out, like, is this like some sort of cybernetic like effect that's happening when they're shooting others, or is this like censorship by the studio or something? I don't know. But whatever it looks kind of cool, where the blood is, you can clearly see that that's blood, but at the same time there's like kind of like static kind of like thing, like an effect. Yeah, and he just explodes. So so they go, and like, then they see Motoko just kind of dips out. 2902 thermal optical camo. Get a tracker, but she's gone. Okay, so yeah, what I'm trying to see here is like, so the next day, that woman appeared at the Minister of Internal Affairs' office. Um, a kill order assigned by the former Prime Minister in her hand. Okay. This woman, who gave her name as Motoko Kusanagi, proposed the formal creation of a new special forces unit, citing the need for crisis management. The same day, the Minister of Internal Affairs summoned Daisuke Aramaki, yeah, that's his name, requesting that he devise a plan to bring her into public security. Wait, so new special forces unit. Yeah, okay, so people like her, you need to keep her on a tight leash. Yeah, and that's why they brought her into Aramaki's group. She requested the formation of a special forces unit, just like you did. Yeah, and that's how I guess she got integrated into the whole thing. Now, another thing I need to read, which is like a lot of things at the beginning, they just kind of just went. I couldn't read it properly, so I'm going to read that part. Mm, okay, so in 1998, a global neurochip was made in Harima Science City. Okay, global neurochip. Its cells are dying due to excessive growth. Oh, hmm. The fibers have grown to terminals composed of galactose-infused polystyrene. Derivatives distorting the thin membrane that terminals are printed on. The same month, cyberprint technology began shifting to a micro machine base. In 2020, neurochips are widely used in robots and AIs. Okay. In the near future, electrons and light race back and forth to corporate nets that blanket the globe, but the notions of nationality and ethnicity still cling to life. Makes sense, despite the spread of technology. A strange corporate collective state lying in the corner of Asia, Japan, Nihon, Nippon, island nation located in East Asia, total area, population, March 25, okay. Nihama Prefecture, artificial island, metropolis of Newport City. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they kind of explained like the background of what's going on and how like the world is currently in 2029. Right. Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, I need to read that because like I said, I it happened so quickly and they just, I couldn't read it while reacting. Right. And there you go. That was Oh, okay, another thing at the end. So basically, in the end, like that guy, like from the internal affairs, he's like, the president or whatever the hell he is. He's like, "Oh, you went a little bit overboard, Motoko. It makes the things a bit difficult. Of course, if you were a team player, perhaps I could find some afford to get some leeway." So she's like, "Oh, give me that ghost." So she hacked his ghost, I guess, and just punched him herself for direct connection for 2 seconds. I guess she didn't hack him. She just asked him to open his connection, I guess, whatever that is. Yeah, just punched himself. Okay, so if staying here means being a public security errand girl, I'll find another line of work. Chief? Yeah, so I suppose it wasn't meant to be. Okay, so I guess she kind of just, like, just dipped out of this, I guess. I don't know. I guess we'll get to see in the next episode. Um, yeah, so we'll see. Anyways, and there you go. So that was it. That was the episode number 1 of The Ghost in a Shell. Yeah, like I said, I'm really loving this. Looking forward to the upcoming episodes. And yeah, if there's anything you want to tell me in the comments, you can let me know. Because like I said, there's a lot of things that will probably take me a little bit of getting used to, like a lot of these terminologies and everything. But I didn't have that much difficulty understanding because, like I said, a lot of these things kind of make sense, and they are kind of like in a low key kind of explaining it to us, even though they aren't. Like with a lot of conversations and everything going around, you can kind of figure out what these things they're talking about are. Um, but still, like I said, there might be a few things that I'm misunderstanding or maybe like kind of not understanding, or it's not. If this is not like anything spoiler or anything, you can let me know in the comments. And yeah, there you go. So that is it. Thanks for watching. This was my reaction to season 1, episode 1 of The Ghost in the Shell. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed, and comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another video. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.